It is probably, no, it is the number one country people ask me about. And look, I get it. Because on paper, it checks a lot of boxes: stability, real banking, a tax structure that actually, let me come back to that. Because the tax side is where it gets interesting and also where most people get it wrong. So, here's what we are doing today. I'm going to tell you exactly what Uruguay is good for, what is not good for, and whether it actually makes sense for your situation. No pitch, and stick around to the end because I'm giving away something at the close that will save you a lot of research time. I am Herman Kramerman. I run a global mobility firm. We help investors structure their residency, citizenship, and tax positions. That's the job. Let's go. Before anything else, two things people confuse. Every time someone brings up Uruguay, they mix up two things that are completely different. And this matters. So stay with me for a second. There is legal residency, your right to live there, work there, stay there. And then there is tax residency, which is actually a separate thing. It is about where you pay taxes. You can have one without the other. And when people say, I want Uruguay for the tax benefits, what they actually mean is they want the tax residency, not just the legal one. Confusing the two is the most common mistake I see. So now that we have that straight, let's get into it. Where Uruguay actually delivers. Number one, and this is the big one, the tax holiday. Uruguay runs on a territorial tax system, which basically means income you earn outside Uruguay, Uruguay doesn't tax. At least, well, let me be more precise, not for a very generous window of time. As of 2026, the update regime, they are calling it Tax Holiday 2.0, gives you 10 full years of zero tax on foreign capital income, of course. Dividends, interest, capital gains, nothing. Zero. Then, after those 10 years, you get 5 more at a reduced 6% rate. And when the whole thing ends, the standard rate on foreign passive income is 12%, which, just to put that in context, is still one of the lowest in the region. Now, to actually get the holiday, there are two ways. One, you live there more than 183 days a year, no investment required, you just actually live there. Two, you invest around $2 million in real estate and then you don't need full-time presence. I know, 2 million is a lot, and yes, right now it is. It used to be $590,000. That changed in January of this year. I will get to why in a second. Number two, banking. This one gets underestimated constantly. Has one of the most solid banking systems in Latin America. Dollar accounts, international operations, access to private banking, on a continent where none of that is guaranteed. Uruguay is generally the exception here. If you need a place where your money is safe and you can actually operate internationally, Uruguay is a real answer for that. Number three, quality of life. Montevideo is constantly the most reliable city in Latin America. Healthcare, education, safety, coastline. Look, it's not for everyone, but if you want a real second base, not just a stamp on a document, Uruguay gives you that. And number four, citizenship, the Uruguayan passport. visa-free to 150 plus countries, full Schengen. For a lot of our clients, that's the actual goal, the passport at the end of the road. Timeline, well, I will precise about this in a minute because there is a lot of misinformation out there. Where Uruguay falls short. Okay, now the part most people skip. The rules change and significantly. Not long ago, Uruguay was almost too good. You put 590k into real estate, show up 60 days a year, and walk away with an 11-year tax exception on foreign income. That's gone. As of January 2026, the investment route now requires $2 million in real estate. That is not a typo, 2 million. And if you don't want to invest that, you need to actually live there. 183 days a year, half the year, every year. You can still get the benefit. I mean, I want to be clear about that. But it's not longer the easy, low-cost entry it used to be. It is not zero taxes. If your goal is to pay basically nothing on everything, income, business capital, there are more aggressive options out there. Dubai, Paraguay, those are the zero tax plays. Uruguay is serious OECD compliant country with a real functioning tax system. It has a very generous window for new residents, but it's not an offshore haven. Don't go in thinking that. Physical presence is real. If you are thinking, okay, I will get the residency and just travel the rest of the year, that works, but only if you are not after the tax benefit. You can't have both without the commitment. And it is expensive. Compared to the rest of Latin America, Uruguay is not cheap. Montevideo runs at European price levels in a lot of categories. For investors used to international cities, not a big deal. But if you are expecting low cost of living, adjust that expectation now. The question I get every single week: Uruguay or Paraguay? Uruguay or Dubai? Uruguay or Panama? And my answer is always it depends. But let me explain what it depends on. Here's the framework I use with every client. No country is good at everything. Some are built for taxes, some for banking, some for quality of life, some as a geopolitical plan B, some for getting a strong passport fast. The question isn't what is the best country. The question is what is the best country for what I need. Zero tax on everything, Dubai or Paraguay. Banking, lifestyle, real tax benefit, strong passport in middle term. European passport, okay, go to Portugal, Spain, Malta. Fast and cheap plan B, Paraguay. Citizenship by investment in months, well, we have Argentina now, Caribbean programs. Uruguay doesn't win every category, but when you combine real banking, quality of life, a meaningful tax benefits, and a passport you can hold in 3 to 5 years, very few places compete. So let's talk about the process, what it actually looks like. The process is straightforward. You get to Uruguay, file your application at the National Immigration Office, submit the basics, passport, clean criminal record, proof of at least 1,500 a month in income, proof of address, temporary residency card, a few weeks. Permanent residency, 4 to 8 months after that. To keep it, visit Uruguay at least once every 3 years. That's it. Now, citizenship. Let me be precise here, because I hear the wrong numbers all the time. It is not 3 years for everyone. Married, 3 years of habitual residency. Single, 5 years. And habitual residency means actually living there, around 183 days a year. You will also need to show you have integrated basic Spanish, ties to the country. So Uruguay, serious jurisdiction, real tax benefits, solid banking, strong quality of life, is a passport worth having. Not perfect, not for everyone, and since 2026 the bar to get in is higher. But if you have capital, international income, and you want something built to last, Uruguay belongs in your conversation. Now, if you want all the specifics in one place, residency requirements, citizenship timeline, exact tax numbers, investment options, drop in the comments and we will send you our full brochure. Free, no call, no pressure. Just information straight to you. And if you want to sit down with us and map out wherever Uruguay actually fits your situation, what structure, what country to combine it with, link to book is in the description. If this was useful, subscribe. Every week we break down residency, citizenship, and global investment structure. Real information, no fluff. I am Herman Kremerman. See you in the next one.